What's up guys, Imda here and welcome to another Fallout 4 build guide. And today's build is going to be based around a melee slash pistol type build. I tried to combine the two things together. So let's get started. So as far as the special points are concerned, in strength we're going to put 4 in, perception 1, endurance 1, charisma 5, intelligence 3, agility 7 and luck 6. And for anyone that's noticed, you will see that we actually have an extra point left, and that's completely up to you guys where you want to put that into. I couldn't really find anything specifically that last point need to go into to actually help this build, so that's why I decided to just leave that out and leave it up to you guys. So getting on to the actual perks, first of all we're going to start with Blacksmith, and this perk basically allows you to add mods to melee weapons. So if you do decide to actually use just a melee weapon instead of the pistol, because I did want to base this around a melee a pistol with a sort of melee attachment to it, but it could also work without, and it could work with just pistols as well without the melee attachment. So that's Blacksmith. Going on to the next one, which is Animal Friend. And the reason why I decided to put this in is you could use this to, because say if you're in a bit of a sticky situation, you could actually just aim at a creature, and if you're able to pacify it, then, sorry, I didn't actually read what it's actually for. You can pacify and give commands to animals below your level, and this is quite helpful. Say you're out of ammo, or say you're not close enough to actually melee the creature, then you could actually pacify it, and that's probably the easier option, because from past games I know that even though a character is a lower level than you, it can still fuck you up at times, so that's the reason for that. Getting on to the next perk, which is Gun Nut. This is to be able to do craftable mods. The Gun Nut Perk is a requirement to craft certain weapon mods, in particular mods for guns, and this will be used to actually add the melee attachment to your gun. And also I would highly recommend to add a silencer. I don't know whether that's actually used in the mod using this actual perk, but I'm pretty sure that it would be, so that's the reason for that. And also I'm going to be talking about silenced weapons in a couple of seconds, or a couple of minutes I should say. Getting on to the next one, which is Gunslinger. Bonus damage with pistols, additional ranks up to the range of pistols, add a chance to disarm enemies, and allow instant limb crippling shots. So at the highest tier, this perk could actually do double the damage that it normally does, and this is only for non-automatic pistols. But if you do decide to use an automatic weapon, that's actually next, so we will get onto that. But it allows you to do double damage, and it also allows you to do the other things like disarm enemies and also cripple their limbs, which is pretty helpful, to be honest, especially when you're using something reasonably weak like a pistol. So getting on to the next perk, which is Commando. The Commando basically lets you do exactly the same as Gunslinger, but it's for automatic weapons, so basically the same thing, just for automatic weapons. The next perk is Sneak, and it improves your stealth. At higher ranks, lets you sneak and run at the same time and avoid setting off traps, which can be very helpful as I said, using a weapon such as a pistol, you may also a melee. If you're using a melee weapon, it's probably best to avoid certain enemies than actually confront them. So that's the whole reason for that. The next perk is Mr. Sandman. Silence weapons do more sneak attack damage. So that's what I mean about adding the silencer to your pistol. At the highest tier, your silence weapons do an additional 50% sneak attack damage, and as I said, you will probably be sneaking the majority of the time when you actually first notice an enemy, so that's a lot of damage extra. So Ninja, which combines with Sandman. Ninja gives you bonus damage whilst attacking unaware targets. At the highest tier, your ranged sneak attacks do 2.5% normal damage. Even though you're using a pistol, you can kind of do ranged attacks, so that still kind of ties in. But the other thing, which is massive, is that melee sneak attacks do 10 times the normal damage, and that's just massive size. And then the next perk, which is better criticals. Criticals do more damage, and at the highest tier, your criticals now do 2.5 times as much extra damage, and that's just criticals in general. You don't need to be sneaking. And the last perk, which is Bloody Mess. Bonus damage means all enemies will sometimes explode, and this one I was a bit funny with when I was choosing it, but it actually can do quite a lot for you. So on the first tier, it does plus 5% bonus damage, and some enemies will explode to a gory red paste. It could be fun to see. Don't know whether that exploding actually means anything until the actual last tier. The second tier, you will now inflict plus 10 times damage in combat. So the third tier, you will now inflict 15 times damage in combat, which is absolutely huge. And then the highest tier, when an enemy explodes, nearby enemies may suffer the same fate, which could be massive for someone using just a pistol and a melee weapon, or a melee attachment. Means that you don't need to deal with as many enemies, and yeah, it could I don't know how overpowered it will be in a way, but it could wipe out a load of enemies. It really could do. So I would try and group together enemies as best as you can, and then try and get them all in one go. So thank you very much for watching, guys. If you liked the video, please rate it. Also comment down below if there's something you disagree on, or just to generally chat. And also subscribe if you enjoy these videos. I'm also going to be doing a playthrough when a game actually releases. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.